guys, and welcome to another Hungover podcast, episode 15. Today, we're going to be talking about Overwatch's 1-year anniversary and our thoughts.
Popping bottles for Overwatch. Just kidding.
Overwatch anniversary! Yes, Overwatch turned 1 year. Tomorrow, probably.
A sweet baby game.
Such a cute little game that we play way too much. Yes,
it's on Wednesday. Wednesday the 24th is the 1 year mark.
Okay, and it's currently the 17th right now, but of course Overwatch has been in our minds pretty much every single day since its release on the 24th of May. Now, Yvonne, did you know that I have to tell the people that you can get this sweet podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and of course in video form on YouTube. And it would be a great help to us and our community if you guys wrote us an iTunes review and possibly gave us a 5-star review, because then more people can find us and you can talk to all your friends or make some friends on our Facebook page.
And the Hungover Gaming Community.
And the Hungover Gaming Community. Or in the YouTube comments, you know?
There we go.
Of course. We start this podcast off every week by asking each other, what media have we consumed and what did we drink recently? Yvonne, would you mind answering those questions for me?
So Master of None came out this past weekend. So I've been diving through that. It's an interesting show. I think Aziz Ansari is doing a lot of really intriguing work with millennial interpretation of modern living.
And race.
I think the acting is a little poor and weird a lot of the time. Just weird choices. The dialogue isn't perfect, but it deals with a lot of interesting concepts at least.
Yeah.
I for me, it's like Louis Light. Like the millennial generation's version of Louis.
Yeah, if Louis, I guess, and oddly enough, they both, well, the second season doesn't take, look, most of it takes place in New York City, the first season at least. In fact,
the second season delves a lot more with what happens as a consequence of the first season, so it's not all set in New York City. Yeah, which... Okay. Actually is pretty cool. It makes the show really watchable.
Actually, funnily enough, I showed that show to Nikki, and we're watching the first season again, or I'm watching the first season again, but she's watching it for the first time. And the episode where Aziz, I guess this is spoiler alert for the first season, so go away if you don't want to hear anything. But Aziz meets that girl again and takes her out to their first date is going to Tennessee, Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville.
Yeah, so the barbecue joint that they go to is actually New York City. It's in Red Hook. And that makes absolutely no sense to me because they were filming in Tennessee for a lot of that, I assume, or at least they had some outdoor shots where they're probably in Tennessee. But I would assume renting out that place in Red Hook would cost way more money than renting out a place in Tennessee. So I have no idea why they did that. It was actually the place that we went to, Yvonne, that was too busy.
Yeah, it's probably mostly revolving around shooting schedule more than anything.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to shoot around New York if the show's based here.
I guess so. That's probably true. But
it's just modeled on a place that's in Nashville, and it's actually the same thing.
It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised because it's definitely a Southern-styled barbecue place where you get stuff on a piece of paper. Vaughn, sorry to interrupt you with that. I just wanted to say that.
That show is pretty interesting for me so far. The first episode is a little bit pretentious because it's like a Fellini homage. Mm-hmm. So, and I listened to an interview with him before the season came out, which was just him talking to somebody, not like spoilers, but talking about how he put himself through film school, watching Fellini and Bergman and all these like famous artists, and then going in and he did some directing for the show himself, and I just thought it was intriguing, but it was a little bit much for what the show is. But I mean, go all power to him. It's not my cup of tea. Maybe other people will fall in love with it.
The second season, that is, right?
Yeah. The second
like
season.
the
I
first
didn't
season?
think the first season was really great in terms of acting and stuff anyway. But the second season had at least some interesting locations, and I was pleased with that.
That's cool.
Other than that, I have been watching some basketball. And
Go
that's pretty
Spurs,
much it.
go.
Go Spurs, go. We're in the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors, and it's not going great, but we'll get there.
Did you drink anything? Anything interesting? More Merlot?
Oh, no. So this weekend I was visiting my girlfriend, and
Yes, nice.
we went to this local brew pub thing. So they had us try some of their honey ale that they produced there.
Nice.
And it was really intriguing. So the brewmaster actually came up and was like talking to us for a while. I told him that I had a lot of honey ale in Texas, so he then brought out a special small batch of honey ale that he had brewed and was his special stash. It wasn't even the stuff that was on tap.
Wow,
and so he let us try that, and that was all for free. That was pretty dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then they had some really interesting double IPAs, and they partnered with a local chocolate place.
Cool.
And so they have a stout with chocolate and this raspberry syrup and some chocolate bits that you can all mix together.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes it like a chocolate stout with raspberry flavoring. It's really intriguing. Not my cup of tea, but it's interesting. Yeah, it was, and they also had this blonde, strawberry and orange blonde session ale or something like that. It was really good. So I tried a lot of different stuff, and a lot of they were very nice there, and they actually had really good brisket too, which I was super astounded
brisket,
by.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where was that place? What was it called? If you can remember.
I don't remember what
Too
it was
many
called.
beers.
It was in a small town in Pennsylvania, but I don't remember what it was called.
Okay, that's cool.
Anyway, how about you?
Me, since we last talked, I mean, Mother's Day was last Sunday, so
yeah.
I took my mom out to. I mean, I've also been watching Master of None. I actually really like that show, but I think that's just because I like Aziz Ansari, a lot. He's one of my favorite comedians. I think he's really funny, and I like.
Did you watch a lot of Parks and Rec?
Yeah, I love that show.
See, I didn't watch a lot of Parks and Rec.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Well,
I think I've seen an episode.
Really?
My opinion on Aziz Ansari is very minimal. Before watching Master
I mean,
of None.
he doesn't have the hugest role in that show, but that's a very good show. Even my dad watched that show, which is really funny to me. But that's a really great show. I suggest you watch it if you get the chance. But I really find him funny, and a lot of his comedy is really like it touches on a lot of immigration stuff, just being an immigrant or being a second generation immigrant, because his parents immigrated here, and that's what a lot of the
He's first generation.
He's first generation.
Yeah,
that's what
first
that means,
generation
sorry.
is first generation born on. So
okay, that's
you're
what it means, yeah.
you're half
Second
first generation.
Yeah, I guess.
On your mom's side.
Yeah, my dad is a first generation.
My kids will be first generation.
Yeah, cool. Right. So So he touches a lot on what it means to be an immigrant in America, and I mean, not that I immigrated. I'm an American, obviously, and I didn't immigrate to America, but I really like. I just like that perspective. A lot of people don't necessarily get that perspective, even though I'd probably say a lot. I mean, probably like 40% of this population now of America is probably first generation immigrant or immigrated to America. I think that's probably true. So I think it's an interesting way to tell that story, and I liked how he did that. I liked the episode particularly in the first season where he
They're talking about the parents.
Yeah, where they take the parents out to dinner. I thought that was a really great episode. I liked that episode a lot.
Yeah, I enjoyed that episode a lot too.
And it really shows how much immigrant parents, people who immigrated to this country to have a better life, it sort of tells their tale in a 30-minute episode. I think is pretty interesting. But anyways, I took my mom out to a private barrel tour at the Red Hook Winery in New York City, because my mom loves wine. She can drink a bottle of wine by herself, and ain't nothing gonna stop her. So we did a wine. Yes, she loves wine. So we did a wine tasting of 4 different wines, and then a guy took us on a tour of where they make the wines, because Red Hook doesn't have a vineyard. There's obviously no space for that. They just buy the juice. I already talked about this last week, I believe. But it was just funny. Oh, the funniest thing was the guy said acetone was an acid. I don't know why he said that, but that's clearly wrong. And if you're a chemist, you understand that. But basically he told it. I don't know.
What you did there.
I
basically he said acid was an acid, or acetone was an acid.
Very basically.
Nailed it.
Got him. But the coolest part was he had a large eyedropper, like, I don't know what you call this, a thing to take the wine out of the barrel so we could taste it. So we actually got to taste wine that was still aging. And
Intriguing.
He had 2 different Chardonnays. One was fermented with the skins off, and one was fermented with the skins on. And then we also tried a Cabernet Franc, which was really good. And it was really interesting to see the difference between skins on and off in fermentation. I thought that was really cool. But Yvonne, we're going to keep this portion of the podcast a little short, because I feel like we have a lot to say when it comes to the topic of the show. Of course,
we do.
We partially started this channel based on the topic of the show, which is Overwatch, and its 1-year anniversary. We've been playing the game for a year now, and I've been doing sort of commentary on some of my matches on my YouTube channel, and we migrated that show over to this YouTube channel, and you can check us out on youtube.com/hungovergaming if you want to, if you're just listening to the audio portion of this podcast, that is. But Yvonne, where do you want to start here? Overwatch is a year old. How do you feel about it?
Overwatch might be my favorite game of all time. I think I can start there. It's definitely, I mean, that's a strong statement. For the games I play, I love first-person competitive shooters. I'm not the best at them, but it's really fun to play that kind of game. Yes. It's the foundation of our friendship, I feel.
or at least this segment of our friendship. We definitely play at least 2 or 3 times a week. Of course, Yvonne and I play on PlayStation 4, I should say, although I have the PC version of the game also. That's how obsessed I am with this game, because I wanted to play with my friends that play on PC. I don't have a particular bias towards either. I suppose PC you can be more accurate with, but that's for a different story, I think. That's a different topic. Yvonne, this game is truly amazing. I think it's a testament that we still play the game. It's entirely multiplayer, and we're still playing it. It's because I think it's partially because they keep updating the game, and any multiplayer game that doesn't have any support from the developers is most likely not that good of a game, and also is not going to get much of a fan following such as Overwatch has. But I think the diversity in characters keeps us coming back as well. Learning a new characters, because we obviously, even a year after, we still haven't mastered all of the characters. I believe
definitely not.
We probably mastered is we use that word lightly, I think, or I use that word lightly to describe myself. But I think mastering a character takes an incredible amount of skill and time, and
especially when you're thinking about all the changes that occur to boost, buff, or to nerf characters as you go along.
Yeah, I mean, just think about Zenyatta in general, right? He got a boost to, of course, if you don't know anything about Overwatch, sorry, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty because this is more of a celebration, and we are nerds and are obsessed with this game. So we might get into the technical jargon if you don't know much about Overwatch. Sorry about that.
Yeah. If you're not into Overwatch and you want to pay attention, that's great. Otherwise, you might want to check out some previous stuff. We're gonna talk about the game in more ways than just the technical aspect.
Yeah, of course.
But we'll get into some nitty gritty stuff, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, just like Zenyatta, right? From the beginning of the game, he was I think he was a lower tier character, in terms of usage as well. He definitely didn't get much usage. I believe he actually had a sizable cooldown on his orbs when he used them, if I remember correctly, and he didn't have as much shields as he does now. I think he had 150 shields. But
he might have been on the level of Tracer in that regard.
And then also when he used Transcendence, it didn't really move him as quickly as it does now. And as simple changes, I guess they're not so simple, but because I'm not a game developer or anything, but small changes like that, or seemingly small changes like that, completely change the playstyle of a character and actually give him some usage in the game. So I think they're constantly, I guess, Jeff Kaplan and the team are constantly looking at heat maps. I guess that would particularly mean like where players are going in maps and why they're going there, and also how they're using characters. So I'm really glad and so happy that the team of Overwatch is supporting the game as much as they do.
Yeah, it's crazy to look at the amount of patch notes that are here for Zenyatta. So there's
Zenyatta
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different patches that were designed to balance out Zenyatta's abilities, coming from his Transcendence, as was talked about, to his projectile, to just a bunch of different things. And there's a bunch of different times where his like damage was fixed. It's crazy that one character is getting balanced out 6 different ways to make him more playable. And the same way that so they just did a year in review video. Jeff Kaplan, who is the developer who comes out and speaks. He's the game director. So he was talking about the fact that characters like Ana and Sombra, who are the 2 newest characters that were introduced after the game's release, they had to make some minor adjustments, and people have had to develop gameplay curves to really get interested and use those characters. Like Ana became the most powerful healer in the game after a few tweaks, with her nano charge boost and different things. It's really intense, and I really trust a game company like Blizzard to be in charge of a multiplayer game with longevity and balance out. I mean, how long has StarCraft been like taken care of and adhered to, and like still there are patches that are coming out for StarCraft.
Yeah,
and that
I think they just patched
years
it
old
for the last time, maybe, and you can get it for free this summer. I think it's going to be free this summer for PC. Well, obviously it's not only on PC, but so we should I'm just saying we should probably play that game.
Probably.
But when it comes out. Because they're also releasing an HD remastered version of it as well. And that's pretty cool to me, I think. But Overwatch, I think they did a fantastic job with sort of... they give the nod to all the other Blizzard properties within Overwatch and all the levels, right? They have some Hearthstone references and some Diablo references, some WoW references, etc. And I think that really sort of helped usher in their previous fans, and then see how and then everyone else outside of Overwatch is probably really excited that. They see how the game plays, and then they see how... I'm sorry if you can hear an ice cream truck outside. I fucking hate this goddamn ice cream truck. It always stops immediately, just right outside my window. But it's so crazy. And he's blasting that. He's blasting it. But yeah, so I've lost my... Basically, you see the excitement from all the players that play the game, if you're just from the outside, right? Maybe you're tuning into this podcast for that very reason, and you want to join in on it because the game doesn't seem so intimidating based on its aesthetics as well, because it's not like bloody or anything. All the characters are really cute and fun. Well, some of them aren't so cute. Roadhog is not that cute. Even Roadhog's kind of cute. That stomach.
He's got his little piggy stomach.
He's got the big stomach. I think that's kind of cute. You just want to give him a hug. But then he'll hook you, and he'll kill you with a shotgun. But that shoots junk, not bullets. But like, even that, and all the characters are just so well fleshed out, even throughout the game. Just their witty banter between each other. I think that's such a nice touch, and it's got that I guess Blizzard level of polish that you come to expect if you're coming from WoW or you're coming from Hearthstone. Even Hearthstone, a free-to-play card game, it's doing really well, obviously, but it's still got a lot of depth to it, and I don't think you have to pay any money to be very good at it.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Yes and no. You have to pay money to get good, though.
To get the good decks, right? I assume. Unless you play every second of the day, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of chances in Hearthstone to get a lot of free stuff, but you'll also get rolled a lot. Coming from a person who put in like probably 20-30 hours of Hearthstone play.
I see. Oh, okay. I mean, I didn't play that game, but
but yeah,
I mean,
I'm not super great, but what I really agree with is the amount of character design and the stepping away from hardcore grittiness and making it into something that is a little bit more attractive in terms of like just playing in a realm that doesn't have to be gritty and dark and demonic at all times. And
despite
I really
Diablo existing.
Yeah, so
yeah, right.
They have the ability to do that, but in this world and with the Omnic Crisis, they have the ability to go dark. But they've taken a lot of care to build a set of characters that go from the ruthless killer of Roadhog to the cutest person in May. That you could ever imagine.
May.
And everybody can find somebody to kind of get in touch with and feel close to.
But I think everyone can agree that May is the spawn of Satan as well. Okay? I think everyone can agree with that.
Yeah. And I also like the amount of lore and build out of this world that goes into that diversity of characters. So Blizzard has obviously taken it upon themselves to make this an international game with a diversity of characters, male, female, genders, and different things. And it's really intriguing to see how
sexuality tracer.
How much they're pushing the envelope in terms of having a set of characters that everybody can fall in love with and play, and building out a story that surrounds them that isn't hammered into you through a single player, making the game clunky to try and deliver story, or just multiplayers that have no story, like your CODs or something like that. Mm-hmm. So this is a game that has an intense lore that's going into it. In fact, they just said that they were canceling the graphic novel because it would contract the universe. It would hold the Overwatch universe to too stringent of lines. Right?
Yeah.
Or so they're hoping. Yeah, they're hoping to expand the universe as we go along. And they did this interesting thing with the recent uprising, right? So they can not only go forward in time with different events or sideways into alternate universes with the Halloween event or the Chinese New Year's events and create new game types that keep players coming back for fun seasonal skins and different play styles. But they also can go back in time to when Overwatch was Overwatch and can do missions with the Overwatch crew, or they can continue down the line forward in history and see how that develops. We got a lot of that, I think, from the trailer that released, which introduced Sombra, which I think is a more modern, this is what's happening in real time rather than going back in time. So it's interesting that they can do forward, back, to the side. They've really opened up this universe. It feels a lot different than something that would be like a Star Wars universe, right? Where you have a lot of really strict guidelines because you're building a game or a game world around a very structured canon.
Right, and not only is this game, everything you just said about the lore, it's not in your face, but it's obviously there if you want to look into it. And it's presented in such a accessible way that isn't that doesn't really turn anyone off. I don't think. I mean, I guess it must disgust some people, these horrible characters in this game. Oh my god! But it's really all centered around, for me anyways, because I don't really go delve into the story. I know some of it mostly because you just tell me while we're playing the game. Right before we run into a match, you're like, "Oh, look at Winston's cool plans and shit." I'm like, "Dude, can you focus on the goddamn game, man?" And you're like, "But this is from Diablo and Hearthstone." and
here it's Genji's lair. Yeah, I know it's there, but you're also getting shot at by the McCree. Can you turn around, please?
We're in a comp match, Yvonne. Come on. Yeah. So basically, it's all centered around a really well balanced, diverse game, and the gameplay is so good. It definitely keeps me coming back. I don't know about you. You obviously love first person shooters. I love them too. And I can't stop playing this game because I can just play a different character, and then when we play comp and we really try to talk to people and coordinate things, I don't think there's a game that I've played ever. I don't think I've ever played a game that requires this much teamwork in order
outside
to win,
of like
to overcome the other team.
Guild Wars PvP. I personally haven't either. Now in Guild Wars PvP, it was a little bit more intense actually, because your skill bar is 8 skills and not 2 skills or 3 skills. So in that you have 8 skills and you have a very strict usage and different things, and it takes a lot to build the bar. So that's a little bit different in terms of the skill level that it takes to get into it and to get good with it. And I was decent at it, but never great. But in Overwatch, I feel like because you're given the abilities, it's the learning curve of learning the easy characters. Like if you get forced to playing a healer, figuring out how to run around with Lucio, which is how I played the game for the first part of the game. Game's launch, that was easy to me, and then going from there you can figure out different roles for yourself, and I really do love that team-based abilities that you can come to and say, okay, I'm going to just say whatever and go hardcore DPS. I'm going to play soldier, and I don't care what's going on. I'm just going to kill, or Reaper. But you can also be an actually useful person and not edgelord with Reaper and go Reinhardt or tank.
Man. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a horrible
It also develops a lot of vitriol though within the game, right? So even though there's this diversity of characters, there are some characters that are still considered unplayable on PS4, for instance.
Yeah, like Widowmaker is pretty tough to get those headshots on console, I think anyways. I mean, obviously this is just our opinion. Voice your opinion in the comment section below, etc. Tweet at us at Gaming Hungover. But I think you're right. There's a different. I'm glad that they kept the. I think they have different patch notes for console and versus PC. I believe
even between the consoles they have different patch notes.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. But
if you look at the Overwatch patch, like the Overwatch site, they have 360, PS4, and PC patch notes.
You mean Xbox One, PS4, and
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So I meant the Xbox, PS4, whatever.
That's interesting. I didn't know that, but it's really, I think they're trying. It's amazing that they must have so many people working on this game, because not only are they constantly balancing and retweaking and tweaking the game, and making it a new experience every 2 or 3 months, because they introduce a new event and there are new skins and there are all these great things to get and keep you coming back. They're really reinvesting all, as the Amazon model, probably reinvesting all the money they make back into the game. But I wanted to say on the point of gameplay, I don't believe I've ever played a game where healing is as fun as it is in this game. I actually love playing there are 4 healers. Of course, there are 5 support characters, but there are 4 healing characters that can heal. And I have an incredible amount of fun time played, playing all of them. And I have a lot of fun healing in this game. I have no idea how they did it, but they made it rewarding to heal your team. And as Mercy, getting that 4-person res or 5-person res, it's really, really satisfying. And you can turn the tide of battle as a healer, which is really amazing. You don't have to get kills with them, of course.
Yeah, I also think that part of what makes that rewarding is that medal system at the end of a match. Mm-hmm. So you can see if you played healer with another healer, oh, I did way more healing than you even got close to. Like, I got gold, and well, you don't necessarily see what they have, which is actually cool, because there's no like KD list or whatever for the game, but you can see how well you did in terms of healing. And different things, and I think that's really self-rewarding, because you'll see it. You don't have to match yourself against anybody else, but you'll be like, okay, I got gold for healing. I did something really important. And then they have the smaller, more intimate things for each character, like Reinhardt and damage block, which you always get massive amounts of, but because I'm super aggressive, I don't.
Well, I mean, I'm not. Well, the past. What did we play? 5 games last night, and we lost all of them, so it's not like I did much. So, anyways, not. I mean, I think we get so frustrated. we can also talk about how frustrated we get, right? There are a lot of times where we'll just go on an incredible losing streak, and we'll feel like crap and. Really go to bed angry. That's my motto. I don't want to go to bed angry, Yvonne. Don't make me play a fucking other game. And it's just a really stressful experience sometimes to play competitive matches in this game, because of how much is on the line. So I think they did a pretty decent job, not only with the gameplay and all that stuff, but with the matchmaking. I think it's I mean, say what you will, Yvonne, I think it's pretty fair. It matched because it goes based off a number. So obviously we get
it mostly
paired up
is
with idiots, and a lot of people probably think that there's an elo hell, but can't we just get better and eventually we'll get out?
I think it's because I think personally our elo hill is based off the fact that our personalities are such that we like to fill in roles as opposed to being hard-headed.
Yeah, we wanna be the team player. We want to win because this is a team-based game. So if we just play with the team, we're gonna win, right? So, and you'd think two people doing that at least would get you out of where are we? We're in gold. I'm gold.
I'm plat. I made it up.
Yeah, I didn't make it out because I didn't play by myself. You played by yourself. I think that was it. So also, when you queue up with people with a party, they try to match you up with people, other teams that are queued up with parties. So I think that's fair in general. So you have to really know the people that, I mean, obviously we play together. So I think I wanted to
But we also played against a 6-man yesterday with not a 6-man on our side.
Oh yeah, that was
tough. It was three teams of 2 versus a 6-man.
Yeah, I thought, well, and then there was that guy picked Hanzo, which is fine. Pick Hanzo, guys. He's a good character. But then everyone got really pissed at him. Holy crap. So there are a lot. There's another thing to talk about. I wanted to talk about the community and all the, not only the gamers, obviously, but I wanted to talk about the people who go to conventions and cosplay a lot. I think that's
there's
really
some really
amazing.
Cool cosplay stuff for this game.
Yeah, I think it's truly amazing how excited people get over these characters, and it's sort of like it's your favorite superhero almost. At Comic-Con, I mean, there was a Comic-Con while this game was out, right?
And there's also BlizzCon.
Yeah, and there's BlizzCon, which obviously people go crazy over. So, I mean, that's really amazing, and I've seen such great... I just sometimes Google some Overwatch cosplay because I like to see what people do with cosplay. I think it's a truly amazing art that people are making these costumes do. I think that is so cool, and everyone gets really excited. These people might not necessarily play the game, but they have that much more. They have the same amount of ownership over the character, right? I think that's so cool that you're really into the character. I haven't seen a Bastion cosplay though. Good, because
I found one Torb cosplay even, but I think that's also the brilliance of how Blizzard did the character design and making sure that everyone could find someone that they're intrigued by.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of female characters. There are male characters. There are large characters. There are really tiny characters. All different races, even though. Yeah, I think. I mean, maybe. I mean, what about Zarya? Right? You said that she says something incorrectly in Russian or something.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think it's correct, but I might be.
It's
wrong.
all in good fun. It doesn't. I mean, maybe it matters to some people, but I think Blizzard did a really great job. With just sort of. I mean, they didn't create the community, which is the craziest thing. I think they might even be surprised at this point, just how much this game took off.
It reminds me. Oh, here's a Bastion cosplay, I think. It reminds me a lot of, for instance, like when networks are looking to create, like a Game of Thrones or a Westworld or a Lost. It's a water cooler show which people are on the message boards talking about or at the water cooler talking about, and in the modern age it's a lot more message board, like delving into Reddit or 4chan stuff,
or that girl that called someone a Hanzo main and got suspended from school.
Yeah.
That's not a message board.
No, it's definitely not.
Oh,
but
that was
so
funny.
That
happened.
We don't know what it means, but it was said in a mean way.
Yeah. The teacher didn't know what it meant. It's the intent. Okay.
But I think it's one of those things that you're building a vehicle for people to really explore their own imagination and explore things that are really cool for them. And it is one of the most fascinating games for me to go from, okay, we're launching this game. I really didn't hear anything about it. Julie and I did get it. We didn't even pre-order it. We bought it on the first day that it came out.
You thank you so much for telling me to get this game, right? I when you told me to get it, you were like, dude, you should check out Overwatch. It's gonna be really sick. I think you told me the week it was coming out. I was like, I heard a little bit about that game. Isn't it just like that Battleborn game? Fuck that shit. I don't want to play this stupid hero first-person shooter that isn't Halo. Fuck
Exactly.
you, or Destiny, or whatever. I was playing Destiny at the time. Fuck you. I don't want to play another first-person shooter. And thank you so much for telling me to get it, because I guess I got it because I wanted to play video games with you, and you seemed pretty into it, so I just got it. And
I
my
got
God.
the bug pretty early, and we
Such a
put
good game.
a lot of time into this game, and that was before competitive was around.
Right. We were so excited when competitive was introduced to the game. It probably just, it's the reason why we're still playing it. Honestly, I think the competitive mode is really awesome, and we're in the 4th season now. I hope there are many more seasons. Of course, Diablo had 10 seasons apparently, right? So right, we just figured that out. Go check out our Let's Play on youtube.com/Hungover Gaming. But yeah, I hope this game has many more seasons to come. I can't see why it wouldn't, especially with let's transition over to what do you think the future of the game holds, Yvonne?
Ooh, this
Where's
is
this game going?
so much right here.
Share me a photo.
So what I think that this game will do,
Oh my God.
I think that this game
That's amazing.
will continue to explore and develop the lore as much as they can. I mean, they canceled the graphic novel for a specific reason. They want to keep the lore very centric to what the game is and those animated shorts, which Blizzard produces tremendously quality. I'm sounding like Trump now. Tremendous quality videos.
Don't bring
for
that back.
animated. Great.
We'll do a topic on him.
And I'm really intrigued to see how they're going to meld new maps with the lore. So, for instance, every map that's come out so far has been steeped in the lore. It's not just a map that they put out to gain things like Eichenwald being related to Reinhardt and Mercy in the Omna Crisis, or Echo Point Antarctica when they released that to do 1v1 and 3v3. That is the station that May was posted at when she got frozen for 10 years.
Right, exactly.
So what I'm really excited in terms of the new places that will go, I want to see the Horizon Lunar Colony that Winston comes from.
Yeah.
I think that's a really intriguing space to explore. And in terms of the events that we're going to go into, I want to get at least one more. I really like the archival events. I think those really help to develop the story. But I want to get another an event that is linked to, for what's his name, the guy with the mega hammer hand.
Doomfist.
Doomfist. I want to get a Doomfist Crisis like raid style event.
I'm sure. Yeah, that would be really cool. I think they can. That's definitely something they can do. They have a lot of leeway there because there's no single player, so they can sort of introduce single player events. Oh, not single player events, of course. They'll be team based still, but PVE style events. And I think the Uprising event was really good. I think that was a really good game mode that they introduced, and it really shows that there's a lot of stuff they can do with the PVE portion of the game. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just event based. They could probably, like, what did they introduce? Yeah, capture the flag, right? They introduced capture the flag with with the
Chinese
Chinese
New
New Year
Year.
event, and they saw how much people liked it, and even though I can't for any reason I just can't win a single match because everyone's an idiot and fuck this game, but I love this game and I'll keep playing it. All right, I just want to get those damn loot boxes. Just give me those damn loot boxes.
I need another hit of loot boxes.
Just give me another loot box. I'll pay you $20. Yeah, so I think, and I mean, I still have to get all the goddamn skins in this game. Fuck. But yeah, having the event-based skins really forces you to play. But because the game is so fun, it's not like a chore that you're grinding out. Really, I think I have so much fun playing this game. But in terms of places I want to see this game go, I want to see new game type modes for multiplayer. I want to see 3v3 have a competitive mode as well. I think they can separate it and just give you a separate ranking for that. I think that would be really cool. I thought that they would have done that sooner, but
Halo totally did that, right? Previously, they had 2 different rankings that you could do.
They have ranking for every Halo 5. No, every yeah, so every playlist that you play has a different ranking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so every game mode has a different ranking if you're doing ranked. I believe that's how Halo 5 does it, and I think that's how Halo 4 and Halo 3 did it as well. But I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure if Halo 2... I'm pretty sure Halo 2 did it as well. Bungie's pretty solid. They're a good company, man. You obviously haven't been following them because they've been focusing on Destiny, but they make really good games. I don't think they've made a bad game, but that's a different topic. Bungie. I honestly love Destiny, so I mean you can say Destiny's a bad game, but yeah,
Destiny as launched was a bad game.
Right, as it is now, I think it's a pretty fun game. I think it's a really fun game, but this is a podcast about Overwatch, Yvonne. I think that they could obviously they're gonna keep pumping out the characters. I think they'll probably end with. Let's see. I feel like they could have 7 of each type, right? So they added 2 to, was it 2 or 3 to each class of characters? I think they could pump out that many characters.
They've added a tank, a support, and
a DPS,
an attack, or what are they called? Offense.
DPS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh right, what are they actually called in the game? Yeah. I don't know.
So they could add a defensive character, presumably, but really the place that they were deficient to start with was support, because they only had 3 healers, and Symmetra, who they've completely and utterly changed. Symmetra is essentially a new character.
Yeah, of course, as opposed to who she was in the beginning of the game. I think. Let's say I'm just thinking of the overall lifetime of this game. I think they could end up having maybe 7 of each class. I think that would be really solid. Either 7 or 10. I'm just coming up with numbers that I like at this point. But yeah, so I think that Blizzard is.
Do you think they would ever retire a character?
No, I don't think so.
So introduce a new character and retire an old one,
and just replace a character? I don't think so. I think they have. I think clearly they have. There's been rumors about Doomfist being a character, right? He's in the universe. He exists in the universe, so he's probably going to be a character. Maybe not the next one, but I think
I doubt that Doomfist will be a character, honestly.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, I think Doomfist is going to be a PvE
boss, maybe. That would be pretty cool as well. I would
just the same way that they have all sorts of different, like in the Omnic Uprising, they had all sorts of different characters come out. I think, or more closely, I think related to the Halloween event when they had actual heroes becoming the enemies. I think that he'll be an enemy, but he won't be a playable hero. I don't think it makes sense to make Doomfist a playable hero.
Okay, well.
But I mean, again, you can play as Reaper and Widowmaker, so.
What?
Yeah, so maybe you can play as Reaper and Widowmaker on the same team as Soldier 76 and whoever. So maybe it doesn't need to match story wise, and that's part of why the game is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, and then I think they're Jeff Kaplan. He's the only PR person for this game, really. I think, or he's the only voice from Blizzard that we really hear talking about this game. And I think he tweeted out that there are going to be, or maybe he said in an interview somewhere, that there are going to be 3 new maps this year, and they're working on 2 more on top of that. So there's a lot more in this year's lifetime, this game's lifetime. At least it'll be supported at least another year. And I don't see the fans crying about anything. I think everyone's fairly, aside from, oh, this game's so toxic, why like the how do I even play competitive because it's so toxic, why do I even put in a mic or whatever. I think a lot of people, I don't want to dwell on the negative portions of this game, which are pretty much only that, just people complaining about other people just getting mad for you picking Hanzo, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty standard for all video games. You're gonna get trolls on the internet, and it just happens. But it's pretty amazing that I think that's the only thing that people really other than oh, this character is unfair. But I don't really think there's a way around. Oh, there's a counter to every character. This game is a very elaborate version of rock paper scissors.
Yeah.
If you boil it down to that.
But also, it's team rock, paper, scissors. So everyone has to show rock at the same time to really work against some characters. Like, if you get a Bastion set up, like we had the other day, against us, and your DPS can't work together with your tanks to focus fire, you're SOL.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're... That's the coolest thing. You can adapt your strategy on the go. And you have to if you want to win, pretty much. So it really takes an active mind the entire game. So that's, I guess, sort of why it can be stressful, but also why it's such a fantastic game, Yvonne. I really love this game.
And I also like the integration of a lot of the non-competitive arcade mode game styles. So like you mentioned, Capture the Flag. My personal favorite is still Mystery Heroes, despite it being frustrating. In terms of a lot, but it's just like if you play it to really learn how to play different characters and have fun, like that's for me, that's the best way that I learned how to play McCree or some other characters, was just going into
being forced to play McCree.
Mystery Heroes and being forced how to play them.
Yeah,
being forced to play them.
Yeah, so I think we've talked almost an hour about Overwatch. Of course, we could go on and on.
For sure.
I think we belabored the point. This game is amazing. It has a lot of has long legs. I think this game is going to be supported for another year at least, and then many more years after that. If you look at Blizzard's legacy in all their games, track record, they support their games for a very, very long time, especially if they're making money off of them, which of course. There are 30 million players, right? This game just passed that milestone. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Of course, it's on PC, Xbox One, and PS4, so it's not just on PC, but that probably helped the sales. But I think that's amazing. I hope this game hits 100 million because I want to see this game supported for much longer. I love this game.
Agreed. Well said, sir.
Well said, sir. Yvonne, thanks so much for talking to me about Overwatch. Happy 1-year anniversary to Overwatch, of course.
Also, if this game, or if this discussion has intrigued and you've not played Overwatch before, there is a free weekend coming up May 25th and 26th.
Yeah, so you can download it on PC, PS4, or Xbox One. Go check it out on your respective store. If you want to come play with us, go ahead and send us a message on Twitch on Twitter or in the YouTube comments below. Either you're a seasoned veteran of the game, or you're just jumping in for the free weekend. Go ahead and send us a message. We'd love to play with you guys. And of course, This podcast ends in a segment called Hungover Radio, with a song in a segment called Hungover Radio. Yes, you can submit your own music or your friend's music that you produced and get some sick free advertisement on the internet. We're gonna play songs at the end of our audio portion of the podcast, and I will put the link to the song in the YouTube video below, in the description below. Today's song, of course, we didn't get any submissions. I know, Yvonne, we're really lacking here. You guys gotta give us some goddamn songs. I'm gonna run out of songs. If no one submits a song, I will pick a video game song because I love video game music. I actually use it to study and do data entry because I'm a scientist. Whenever I have to do repetitive tasks, I always listen to video game music or music from Studio Ghibli. I love that type of music. And today
I listen to the Batman soundtrack.
Batman soundtrack, also solid choice. James Bond, you're gonna break something though if you listen to James Bond. So today's song comes from the game Persona 4. Came out on the PS2. I love Persona, and of course it also is on the PlayStation Vita in the form of Persona 4 Golden. I believe the Persona games have a really great aesthetic and music style to them. They're sort of poppy, but of course sort of in Japanese and sort of in a Japanese style. So you could call it J-pop. I'd venture so far as to say. Today's song is called Pursuing My True Self. Yeah, we're going to let it roll out, and I hope you guys enjoy the song. Of course, I'm Julien, and this is my co-host,
Yvonne, and thank you very much for listening to the Hungover podcast. Once again, check us out on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube. Leave us a comment if you want to talk about anything, or if you have an idea of what we should do in the future.
Yeah,
thanks, everyone.
If you have any questions or topic suggestions, go ahead and contact us through social media. So also, I should say, you can send in your songs to gaminghungover@gmail.com. I forgot to say that, and I always forget to say that. But you can totally do it that way. That is the Hungover Gaming email address. So, Yvonne, thanks for talking about Overwatch with me. I love the game. And we'll catch you guys next week. Peace out.
Bye.